guys, welcome back to Ashire Books. Today I thought I would do a book haul for you guys. So I've gotten quite a few books over the month of March and I figured I might as well go ahead and talk about them. So they're kind of from all over the place. Most of them are from a used bookstore. I went on a trip a few weeks ago and I always like to check out like used bookstores if I can find one in the area. So I went to a couple of different ones and that's where most of them are from, and then from a couple of different ones. And then I also went to ApollyCon this past weekend in DC, which is a book kind of convention type thing that's run by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and it was so much fun. I had the best time, but I got quite a few books from that. Either I bought them myself or we were given books as well. So I figure I'll talk about those as well. So let's get started. The next two books are from Ollie's. So we recently had an Ollie's open up near my house and we never had one before, so I didn't really know what it was, but it's been open a couple of months and people keep saying, oh, they've got a great book section, and I kept meaning to go by, so I finally did, and they did have a good book section, and they're very cheap. I think they're a couple bucks a piece usually for like the paperbacks. They had a lot more YA. I felt like that I would want to read than adult, so the ones I bought were YA, but they're really good deals. The first one I got was Venom by Fiona Paul. I feel like this was a book that I heard about like a few years ago. I mean, it's not new. I think it might be close to like 8 or 10 years old, but it's a YA and I believe it has to do with time travel and history. It just sounds really mysterious. They go to, I think they time travel to different areas, and I honestly am not exactly sure, but it sounded pretty good and it was on sale for $1.99. So I thought I'd give it, you know, a try. And if you guys know anything about this, definitely let me know, but it was intriguing. The next one I got was And I Darken by Kiersten White. This one's been all over lately. It's a very big book in the YA kind of part of BookTube, or BookTube in general, I guess. I really don't know much. I know it's a kind of a retelling of, I believe it's Vlad the Impaler. And I heard it's very dark and very gritty, and it just sounded interesting. I think this one was, yeah, $5.99, which I'd looked at getting it a couple of different times. It just sounded really intriguing again, and I figured I'd give it a go. So the next books I got are ones that I got just from a couple of different used bookstores. I did discover Second and Charles for the first time because we don't have them where I live, but I was up in Georgia recently and they have them there, and so I went, and that is amazing. Amazing. I loved it. So anyways, I went there and got a couple of books. The first one I got was, it was actually, the price is still on it, but it was a Christmas novella series by some different historical romance authors. So Lisa Kleypas was the main one. I believe this is from this year, and it came out this year, but I just didn't get my hands on it around the holidays. But it was on sale for $1.95, so I couldn't say no. You guys know I love Lisa Kleypas, and I don't know the rest of them, but yeah, it's 3 different Christmas novellas. Sounds great. The next one I got was Losing It by Cora Carmack. I had already read this book a while ago when it first came out, but I own it on my Kindle. And Cora Carmack was one of the authors that was going to be at ApollyCon, so I wanted to grab it, and she did sign it for me, and she was so lovely. I absolutely loved meeting her. This is a very cute, like, college age romance. It was very funny from what I remember, and it was the first book I read from Cora Carmack, and I've read quite a few since then, so definitely check this out. It's pretty small, but I think you guys would like it if you like that kind of book. The next one I got was Sustained by Emma Chase. I have also read this one, but I also own this on my Kindle, so when I saw it for really cheap, it's not in the best condition. It does have like some cracks going down the middle, but to me it was okay. It was from a used bookstore. It didn't cost me very much. So this one is in her Legal Briefs series, but it's my favorite one. I've only read 2 in that series. I haven't read all of them, but it was so good. I love this one, guys. So this follows a girl named Chelsea who, this is not a spoiler, it's on the back of the book, but she somehow through circumstances is having to raise her like 6 nieces and nephews, and so she's got a lot going on. And then it's about Jake, Jake Becker, who is a lawyer, and he's just very straight-laced, very like to the point, and she's kind of a bit more of a free spirit, and their paths kind of cross, and it's just hilarious but so sweet. I really liked this. I love all of Emma Chase's writing, so if you're looking for something that's like swoony but also just really cute and funny, definitely check this one out as well. The next one I got was Ride Hard by Laura Kay. This is the first book in the Raven Writers series. I bought this because someone on Instagram, I can't remember who it was right now, but someone was posting about the new book in the series that came out. I think it was a novella, and it sounded really up my alley. I do like a good motorcycle kind of romance every once in a while. There's been some I've liked and some I haven't. But this one, I read the synopsis for this is the first in the series, and I found it at my used bookstore, so I decided to go ahead and pick it up, and it just sounds really good, and I'm excited to see if I can find another motorcycle romance that I like. The next one I was so excited to find at my used bookstore, and that is Hello Stranger by Lisa Kleypas. So you guys know that I love Lisa. I've said that in this video and all the time on my channel, but this is her newest release. It came out in, I think it was the last couple of days of February, but I haven't got my hands on it yet because I didn't really want to pay full price. I was going to eventually, but I just hadn't bought it yet. But I was just browsing and they had it there, so I bought it. And this is the, I think, 4th book in the Ravenel series, which is her current series that's going on. I think it might be the last book in that series, so I'm super excited to get to this. If you guys have read this, let me know, because I've heard kind of mixed feelings on this one, which makes me a little nervous, but she hasn't let me down yet, so I have faith. Next one I got is a little bit of a different book for me, actually, and that is called Murder on Astor Place, a Gaslight Mystery by Victoria Thompson. I said before that I was really wanting to try out some different kinds of books and some like mysteries in particular, and through doing some research, Victoria Thompson seems to write kind of historical mysteries, and I feel like I'm hoping maybe I'll really get into those because I like historical fiction and historical romance so much. But this one, I honestly am not positive what the plot line is, but I know it takes place in the 1800s, and it follows I believe a woman who tries to solve mysteries, and it just sounds so good. So I don't know, Victoria Thompson has written a lot of books, and they're mostly all set in the like 1800s, so I'm excited to give it a go. Whew. I'm really trying to go through these quickly, guys, so I'm sorry if I'm talking too quickly, but there's a lot here and kind of more than I thought I had accumulated, so oh well. The next one I got was A Daring Arrangement by Joanna Shupe. This one was one I'd heard of Joanna Shupe and some of her other books, but this is the one I found at the used bookstore, and it sounds really good. I liked the cover a lot, and I'm always looking for a new historical romance author, so I hope I like it. This is another one that I picked up at one of those used bookstores when I was on vacation, and it's called, it's called Almost a Princess by Elizabeth Thornton. Again, don't know anything about this, but for some reason, if the book has the word princess in it, something just says buy me. You know, I'm a sucker for a royal romance of any kind, whether it's actual royalty or not. The last book I got from the used bookstore collection was actually How to Be a Victorian, A Dawn to Dusk Guide to Victorian Life by Ruth Goodman. I am so excited to find this at the used bookstore. So you guys may or may not know this, but I'm a huge history buff and a bit of a history nerd. I think that's why historical romance really appeals to me, because I've always loved history. It's always been my favorite thing in school and just in personal reading and watching TV shows and stuff. I've always been drawn to it, and I'm just fascinated by people's lives back then. A lot of historians and also just historical romance authors in general have recommended reading this book if you kind of want to get like a glimpse into a Victorian's life, because it really goes like through each part of the day. And I've been looking at buying this, but it's kind of expensive because it's like a nonfiction book, so I didn't want to pay full price, but they had it for a really cheap price at my used bookstore. I did have to do some digging to find it because that place is not organized, but I've succeeded, so I'm slowly making my way through this. It won't be like a one read sitting, or one, yeah, I won't read it in one sitting, but I'm gonna slowly read it, so yay! Is anyone else out there history nerds like me and like really loves that stuff? No? The next books are all the ones I got from Apollycon, so let's go. The first one I got was Royally Endowed. This is one I bought myself, and it's by Emma Chase. This is book 3 in the Royal series that she does. So now I own books 2 and 3. I don't own 1. I do on my Kindle, just not in physical form, but they have this one. Yes, the title makes me laugh, but I really liked this book, and I love this series. If you guys like a royal romance, you have to check this out. Emma Chase does the perfect blend of like royalty, sweet, sexy, and just really funny at the same time. So I'm so excited to have this. The next one I bought myself was a Bollywood Affair by Sonali Dev. This is one that the ladies over at the Smart Podcast Trashy Books mention all the time, and it's like a favorite of theirs, and it just sounds so good and so diverse, and I really need to step up reading some more diverse reads. But this one just sounds amazing. It involves a woman who is, I think, in her 20s, but she's been kind of like promised to this husband since she was a child. And obviously I'm pretty sure she's pretty against it, but it kind of follows them, and it's just, I really want to read it. Everyone's been raving over this, saying it's so good, and I'm excited to have it. The last one I bought myself was Moonlight Sins by Jennifer L. Armentrout. You guys know I love Jennifer Armentrout. It was her event, and I hadn't got my hands on Moonlight Sins yet because I just had, my bookstore actually didn't have it. Barnes & Noble didn't have it. But anyways, I bought it there, and I'm super excited to get to it because she is awesome and does no wrong. We got a few books that they gave us. So one of them was Furyborn, the first book in the Imperium trilogy by Claire Legrand. I don't know very much about this, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is an ARC because it doesn't come out till May, but it's a YA fantasy, I believe. I really don't know much, but it sounds really cool. I read the back, and I believe it follows two different women in two different timelines, like one in the past and one in the present in this fantasy world. It sounds really, really cool. It's a bit of a chunker, but I do really want to read it. I do like a bit of YA fantasy, and I haven't read any really great stuff in a while. The next one I got, I was so excited to see in the bag, and that was Hate to Want You, the Forbidden Heart series by Alicia Rai. Alicia Rai is another one that they mention all the time on the Smart Podcast Trashy Books podcast, and it's just not only there, everywhere across the internet has been just raving over her work, and it's just one I hadn't picked up yet, and I'm so excited to read this. So if you guys have read this, let me know your thoughts. Most people, I haven't met one person who hasn't liked this book or this author, so, but if you have, let me know. But yeah, I'm just really excited to read it. Next one is You May Kiss the Bride by Lisa Byrne, and I don't know much about this, but it was historical romance, so, and a historical romance from Avon, which typically publish some of my favorite historical romances, so I'm excited to get to it. Don't know much about it, but it sounds cool. Okay, just two left. The next one is called True North, the True North Trilogy by Ellie Sterling. This sounds amazing, and I actually was going to pick this up like as soon as I finished the book I was reading, but when I did a little research, it's actually book 2 in a series. It's a YA. Again, I'm pretty sure YA may be like a new adult fantasy, but I do think I need to pick up the first book first because in a fantasy series you typically need to pick up the first book first. But the back was a little confusing because it didn't seem like that at first. But anyways, it sounds really, really good though, and something I would be really into. So I'm hoping to maybe get the first one from the library or something and be able to read this book. And last but certainly not least is The Prophecy by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is book 4 in the Titan series, I believe it's, yeah, it's Titan series, which is the spinoff of her, is it the Apollyon series? It's the one that the event was named after, which I have read that whole series. This series, I've read the first 2 books, but I haven't read the third, and then I haven't read this one. So I need to kind of probably reread those because it's been a couple years, but I was really excited to get this and just finish up the series. I really prefer to binge my series anyways, so it's probably for the best, but yeah, really cool to have it. Okay guys, so those were all of the books that I've accumulated in March. I'm pretty sure April's gonna be a slower month because right when I start getting rid of all these books, I start getting more in, but that's okay. Most of them were either free or pretty cheap, and I'm really excited to get to all of these, and that's what's important. So let me know what you guys bought this month. Let me know if you've read any of these and you think I should bump them up the TBR list a little bit. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please like and subscribe if you would like to, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!